A message from Ashtar, present and future events. Channel Neva Gabriel. Greetings, family. It is good to be here once again. Time continues to accelerate, and you continue to notice that everything has taken a path of inevitable transformation. Those who believe they hold absolute power over the masses are noticing the game turning and are becoming restless because they observe that their demands are no longer being met. And the control over those who, for so long, gave them credit, often with votes of good faith, is slipping through their fingers. You have realized that the power to change the world has always been in your hands, that all transformations can occur quickly or take a long time, according to how you put your strength and mastery into action. Being a master goes beyond being an instructor of something. It is, above all, also knowing how to conduct yourself in an environment that constantly calls you to the exercise of balance. Being a master is also not giving your power to anyone, in the sense of allowing them to guide your lives and take away from you the sovereignty of simply being who you are. Those who operate in the darkness recognize, and have always recognized, your power. Otherwise, they wouldn't be so concerned with the idea that the masters are retaking the lead in their own journey. For many millennia, you have gone through challenges that no other soul in the galaxy had ever gone through before. Not so intensely, not as it was, not as it has been. I have always seen your effort to remain lucid amidst the storms of a world in evolution, with its aura tormented by pain and disconnection from your originality. In recent years, you have learned to look more at one another, to join hands more compassionately, breaking down the barriers of prejudice and anything that tries to pit you against each other. That is what those who operate in the darkness have always wanted, to divide you. You are advancing towards what we call light communities, or light cities, when you will finally be able to live in harmony. Although in the last 2 decades especially, many spiritual leaders have planned and developed projects of this nature. In some cases, it is observed that when in a group, some inclinations towards old ways emerge, due to influences from the lower bodies, desiring supremacy, thus creating conflicts within these environments. But with goodwill and the search for harmony and deeper understanding of the spiritual laws of the cosmos, you will find yourselves increasingly involved in such communities, because it is the inevitable destined outcome. The light cities, which will become crystal cities, will be havens of healing and regeneration, and many of our emissaries are already in the physical environment or preparing for the continuation of these undertakings. I also reinforce, dear ones, that the internal work to conduct yourselves in a group is essential, because in these environments, true fraternity, respect, and diplomacy are impulses and form special protective fields, so that remnants of darkness still present do not infiltrate, causing unrest and discord in such precious work. You are entering a year of reconnection with the infinite Creator, a year of beginnings, of reconnection with your individuality and your leadership strength. This is the moment for you to take possession of your life. You will perceive the great need to walk on your own legs, to reassume your power, to take the reins of your life. You will enter a great transition from an inauthentic self to your most authentic self. You will perceive the unveiling of the veils, where not only you in your individuality will perceive the profound change, but also in your surroundings, in environments involving science, politics, and religion, for example. As masks fall continuously, you will be surprised by so many lies being exposed. This is part of this year, dear ones. This is part of the revelations that will show themselves in 2026 for you, which will extend onward in the continuous process of transformation from your lower self to your higher self, as well as across the entire surface of Shan and all the kingdoms that comprise it. On the path of this ongoing transformation, we are continuously warning about our mass approaches to your solar system. We are informing your global leaders that the narratives that they are alone in the universe or something to that effect will no longer be tolerated for much longer. They know about us. They have the alerts that we are continuously giving, dear ones. They know of the return of the masters. The Atlas is a good example of this. There will be more activity from our ships. We will contact you even more. We will seek you out in various ways for appropriate contacts, especially when you are sleeping. Have no doubt about this. There will be a collapse of some government on your planet, with its directions coming into conflict with the incoming new energies, which demands space for transformation. Two specific religions of the old world will begin to crumble. Pride, vanity, arrogance will lead them to ruin. Old leaderships will be invited to withdraw from the scene. I have told you this before. The world you see will begin to crumble, and there is nothing that can sustain it. It is necessary that this happens, and that is why you are there, to support this change. There will be an increase in volcanic activity in certain regions, and nature will begin to show its signs more emphatically and effectively. Shan is moving. It is adjusting to the new frequencies entering its system, and I, Ashtar, am tasked with maintaining as much as possible the balance between all, especially between those who desire peace and love on Shan, which I have the responsibility to liberate. I also need to inform you that there are some leaders in your world who plan, through biological warfare, to create chaos in the food system with the spread of pests, and also much of what the people of Shan consume, which may already be genetically damaged, to create even more chaos, trying to provoke scarcity. It's a way to try to maintain control of the masses. To them, I, Ashtar, inform, I am in charge of not allowing them to do this. Even if there are regions susceptible to these attacks, due to what we call karma, a global scale of food scarcity is very unlikely to happen, because you would need to get through me first. And that is something they know. As they themselves say among themselves, dealing with him, as they call me, it's very difficult. Oh, it is. In 2025, you had your DNA activated, coming into reactivation. And what do you expect in 2026, dear ones? The answer to that is the increase in your consciousness, your mastery, beginning to know who you really are and why you are there. The return of the masters is not new to you. You have been and returned many times, and this is not the first time you have dived so deep into density. But without a doubt, it is the time you have felt the most, learned the most, expanded the most. It is the time that the deepest within your souls was so overwhelming. But you will truly return. You will return to that more expanded consciousness. You will begin the return to mastery in a significant way. You will have support from the masters of Shan and from space. You know those called the Ascended Masters? Yes, they will return more active than ever. These masters will begin their intensive contacts with people on the surface of Shan. Through dreams, intuitions, irradiations, they will show themselves to many in various ways. This will be another reminder of who you really are. I am with them at all times, and they are eager for this to manifest as soon as possible. You go through all the phases we mentioned before. You received an invitation from me. You received this invitation for this great journey. You were warned of the difficulties, but still, you accepted, as courageous as you are. In this dive, you did not lose your divine spark. In the face of so much pain, you did not lose it. You went through the great breaking, which is being crushed by density, and submitting to the challenges it imposes, but still you resisted. You passed the risk markers when your humanity was on the brink of self-extermination, but you managed to transcend. You entered into a deep healing. This incarnation for you is a healing incarnation, my dear ones. That is what it represents for you. I know that many of you question whether you are doing anything in this life. You are fulfilling your purpose, and I say yes, you are. I hear you when you enter into these questionings, when in the silence of your hearts you become restless with these inquiries. But, my dear ones, one thing I know, I speak not only for myself, but I also speak for the masters by my side. You are going beyond. Healing is coming. You are immersed in the process. Could you not return to mastery without giving away all that you have learned, without giving away your gifts? It is important that you also understand that the return of the masters does not mean that you go somewhere else. It means that you will be in yourselves. It means that you will begin to find the true you, the master that you are, where you went and why you went. It means that you will also receive more visits from the ascended masters from space, from your guides and mentors. They are returns of returns. Masters will find masters, masters who will teach masters, masters who will give away all they have learned. You will notice more people seeking you out for information about what you know with questions and whys, and you will help them. My dear ones of Shan, the portals of the galaxy and beyond will be open for you. Home will be more alive within you. You will have greater freedom to be, and the external oppressive power will no longer undermine your strength, because you will recognize yourselves as the masters you are. You have returned to being who you truly are. It will be a profound year of internalization, where you will feel more need to be with yourselves, where you will feel more comfortable with people of the same resonance, and where the spirit will have more space. The masters have returned. You will recognize yourselves in these spaces, and in the aspect of mastery, you will be more inclined towards union, self-understanding, and mutual understanding. My dear ones, thousands of years ago, the Pleiadians were leaving capsules in your cells, crystalline capsules of energy, in physical and astral environments. Your DNA is full of these capsules that will open within your cells, gushing light that will radiate through your pores, through your aura, through your entire being. It is a code of remembrance of who you are, a reactivator of mastery, time capsules that you yourselves, together with the Pleiadians, installed in yourselves, in an environment of the eternal now. You sent these reminders to yourselves. These capsules will be opened with greater intensity in 2026, also promoting a great increase in the activity of your heart and throat chakras. You will perceive more energy in these areas. This will be the result of the opening of these capsules. With your DNA in great reception of the commands of the DNA, there will be an infusion of light into your cells as never seen in the last 12,000 years. Not only will the Pleiadians be active in this regard, but also the Sirians, the Alpha Centaurians, the Aldebarans, the Orions, the Capellans, the Arcturians, the Andromedans. All the federated groups that are most active attending to their incarnated groups on Shan. In your governments, you know there are many hybrids of a malevolent nature, inserted into the centers of power of Shan. I inform you that we will activate a technology from our ships, releasing nanotechnology into the air, obviously without causing harm to any other person, being only for these hybrids and clones who will begin to perceive organic collapse and dissociations of themselves, and little by little they will be removed from the scene. This is another one of our intensive actions in discontinuing the old system that inevitably crumbles as we fully enter your quadrant. Meanwhile, my boys and girls of the command will continue the work of data collection, insertion of new dynamics, apprehension of etheric entities, and preparation of the masses for first contact, as well as to create physical, mental, and spiritual structures for the transition, when Shan will move to accommodate itself in the higher fourth and fifth dimensions. 2026 will be a year where science will begin to open up even more to life beyond physical matter. Studies and disciplines on life after death will begin to be studied in certain universities. Studies supported by scientists who are already open to this. They will begin to spread this irrefutable truth. It is evident that the death of the body does not end life. It only opens the portal to the continuous. Scientists will begin to have more lucid dreams about this. They will receive messages from the masters, who will guide them towards the signature of God in DNA, cells, and everything that comprises a biology. More souls will go through what you call NDE, near-death experience, and will bring their accounts to hospitals and around the world, corroborating what is already known to be a truth. Those who still control science will continue to be cornered because the masters will begin to move them away so that, finally, science can have a communion with the Supreme Creator. In 2026, we will begin to install worldwide, supported by the Ascended Masters, etheric and physical antennas for multidimensional communication. This will cause an increase in transmissions from other planes of existence to your physical plane. Your technological devices will be more subject to receiving signals from other transmission stations outside your physical realm. These signals will be decoded into messages. In other words, what you call instrumental transcommunication will be much more in evidence from 2026 onwards. Many of your old scientists, from the side of life, are working on the construction and maintenance of these antennas to support these communications. In the not-too-distant future, talking to a relative, a friend, a loved one who has already left the physical environment will be as easy as talking today with other people in various parts of the world. With your technology, calling someone on this side of life via video call will begin to become common. These scientists who are with us on this side are also working to ensure that this happens more quickly and efficiently, and we support them. Nikola Tesla not only knew this, but was also working on building antennas for this purpose when he was interrupted. He is back in your world to continue this work. Not only him, but many others known to you. They will help you build bridges between worlds. This was already planned, my dear ones. It is your destiny to break through the veils. 2026 is a year for many of great internal battles and confrontations. You cannot find your mastery without first looking at and facing your issues with dignity. It is a year where, in many aspects, you will see the law being applied, with strong emphasis especially regarding those who do not wish to abandon Machiavellian customs. It is important that you understand, dear ones, that Mars will help you make the necessary decisions that need to be made without further delay, because you will receive the strength of the masters to act for the necessary action that will propel you towards the new. The Star Warrior will also ask for space, placing those open to it in environments where their presence will make a difference like never before. The Sword of Light will be delivered to the Master Warrior who will cut through the tangle of darkness, the old demands, making way for the light that needs to pass through. Allow the force of Mars to come to your aid, cutting these demands imposed by those who operate in the darkness, cutting the old ties with limiting belief structures that prevented you from growing and truly becoming what you were meant to be in the world, in this world where you find yourselves. You are entering a year that will literally be governed by a force that will separate the old world from the new world. And this will become very evident, and this same force will call you emphatically questioning, which side are you on? Whom do you serve? It is important, dear masters, that you do not allow yourselves to be led by impulses of anger and revolt, nor enter into unnecessary conflicts. The warrior who awakens in 2026, the warrior with the Sword of Light, is the diplomatic warrior, but who also knows how to use energy to open paths and assert themselves, but within balance and harmony. Mars invites you in 2026 to the mastery of the conscious warrior, no longer the warrior who once pushed steel swords, bows, and spears, but that sustains faith, the alliance with the source, and missionary courage. Behold, the birth of the warrior masters mounted on their horses, opening the way through the dark roads, bringing light and direction to a great time of transformation. The warrior who now acts with wisdom without impulsiveness, who acts with mastery and is aligned with their true spiritual purpose. You, warrior master, armed with the weapons of unconditional light, will continue your journey in 2026 with courage and consciousness, cutting away what prevents you from being what you were born to be. If you open your heart to this, my dear ones, so it will be. However, if you still resist the old ways, denying your own innate power, Mars will act as that same warrior with you. This year, many souls on Earth have been in agony as they have had difficulty looking at themselves and at the demands that a transition imposes. Demands resulting from old inheritances to be worked on and healed. We have been warning Neva, and you through Neva, for at least 8 months, that there would be a tightening of the noose on those who try to flee from looking at themselves. Dear souls of Shan, it is time for transformation, and help will not be lacking for you. There are many star souls incarnated today who are being activated to provide essential support at this time of transition, helping to cease the agony of those who struggle against the need for change. Dear starseeds, look lovingly upon those in despair. Listen to what they need to say. Give space for their pains to manifest and for them to deal with them, feeling supported and upheld by the love and fraternity that emanates from you, starseeds. You can offer this support. There will be an increase in the search for therapies in all areas, from the most traditional to the most spiritual and holistic. A search for truth and discoveries. Many souls will not be able to bear it out without help, and some of them will attempt against their own lives. Do not fail to use the violet fire and the green fire of truth for the necessary healings and transmutations, my dear ones. You will see in 2026 more traditional media outlets talking about spirituality, as I said, about life after death, and everything in that sense. My dear ones, The ascended masters are coming to meet you. Feel their presence. They walked among you when Sean was still awakening. Their words have vibrated through the ages with seeds of crystalline light. The winds of the cosmos now announce their return to meet you, who are also masters and are returning to your mastery consciousness. You have heard it before. They do not come to rule, but to remind, just like you. They do not come with crowns in an authoritarian position, but with humility, from those who have already seen the whole and know what they are. They arrive not in ships, but in consciousness, because in truth, they never left. The masters are among you, and they seek similar ones who have awakened, who allow themselves to awaken to mastery, no longer outside, but within. The era, my dear ones, of forgetting is ending. The time to remember who you are is now. Honor the silence. Listen to your souls. The master you wait for is you, awakening. As I said, all masters are present now. Yeshua blesses everyone. My dear ones, beloved family, these are the truths for now. I will be more present than ever. And so it is. Blessings. Your brother, Ashtar. Adonai. Share.